she can catch the replay or she might jump in. But do you want to just start, Natasha, with a little bit about what you guys do and your backstory and when you started?
Okay, yeah. So we started in 2012. Bit of a backstory, I guess. I started in sales. So, when I left school, I sort of got a couple of jobs. I ended up in Auckland in a couple of sales roles for Empower and World Exchange. So a lot of that was door-to-door knocking. You'd be dropped, would come down sometimes and be dropped in the middle of Pairua to sell, and young girl, fearless, but it taught me some great sales skills, which I think has added a lot of value to and people skills with our people, because coming from the background I came from and being a single mum, I relate to a lot of my ladies. So and yeah, just that how to sell is sort of key to building a business. So, sometimes would be knocking on doors and I'd have like rain dripping off my nose and people would slam the door in my face, think I was crazy because, knocking on the door in the middle of winter. They just want to sit by their fire, right? And they don't want a power company.
What's a power company, did you say? They don't want to. Yeah. Yeah, brutal. Nice. All right, so that got you into the sales side of things, or got you a bit more conditioned to that. And so then how does Hire a Housewife start?
Yeah, so 22 or actually 21, I got found myself pregnant and had my son at 22, and sort of I guess I was looking for something that I could do, and earn in say 3 days what I could in what I couldn't in 5. And so I sort of fell into cleaning and a bit of home help. Sales was becoming a little bit harder, sort of walking the streets pregnant. So started cleaning, found I really enjoyed it. And I think I actually enjoyed it from a really young age. My mum, it's one thing that made her happy. If she went out, I would clean the house and she'd come home and she was happy, I'd get some praise and whatnot. And so I guess cleaning was a little bit in my blood, really enjoyed it, and started working for a cleaning company. I think I was on about $13 an hour, $13.81, I think it was. And thought, hang, like I'm doing this for someone else. But it wasn't just that, it was that their values didn't line with mine. Some of the things they were doing or saying in people's homes, it just didn't feel right to me. So that was when I went out on my own and just sort of started getting a few jobs. And I remember one of my clients saying to me, like, I'm educated, you're not, and you're getting $40 an hour. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm working really hard for that $40,
Nice.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I wanted to be able to have that balance with my son. I was a single mum, so I wanted to be able to be there for him, and essentially only work 2-3 days.
Nice. Who was looking after your boy when you'd go and clean?
My mum. I was really lucky. My mum there. Otherwise, I probably might not have done it. And it was the same when I had my daughter. My mum actually quit her job and started looking after her through an agency. So
nice.
It was fun. She got to spend time with her grandkids, and I got to go to work and have a bit of peace from the kids. So it's great.
I think it's a good point as well around, if someone's saying to you, oh, you're not educated and you're getting $40 an hour, and I'm educated and I'm getting less than that, because that's business, right? That is the market. That is doing something, solving a pain point for somebody and getting paid for it. And you don't necessarily need the education to do that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm big on, like, if you're doing what you're passionate about, success will come. A lot of people stick at jobs that they really aren't enjoying. And that's why I always try and create a really good work culture for my ladies, because it is tough. I mean, I cleaned for 16 years. I know how tough it is. And you get up and you're doing the same thing the next day. But it's a really rewarding job as well. And I always felt really satisfied. But I know it's tough, and so having that work culture is really important, that the ladies show up every day and they're like, woohoo, I love working here.
Yeah, nice. So what year does Hire a Housewife start?
Yeah, so 2012, when I was in the HireAHousewife, I sort of had a bit of an idea of sort of starting a business, and sat down with my brother and had a had a whiskey, and sort of come up with the name HireAHousewife. And yeah, but nothing sort of happened until 2012 when I moved to the Manawatu, met my husband. Um, so I sort of had to move this way because of his job, and then it sort of, developed from there. I put a flyer around and got a few, actually straight off, I got some really awesome clients, and they still support HireAHousewife to this day. They've been with me since day one, and sort of just built from there, really. Got a few clients, and then word of mouth, got a few more, and then kind of got to the stage where I was like, I might need to employ somebody to help me.
Yeah. So it was just you for the first little while though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that cleaning is a role that anyone could learn and pick up?
Um,
Maybe
yes,
not anyone.
yes and no. Like, we've put a lot of effort into training our team, and I do believe that our team is I'm going to go as far as saying one of the best in New Zealand. Like, and that is because of the training. That's because of who we hire, the love that they have for their job, the love they have for their clients. Because we've spent a lot of time over the years working on our values, right? And having that respect amongst your work colleagues, having fun, and also, being a team player. We can't deliver quality to our clients unless we tick all those boxes within our company. And they'll go out, and if we'll put it this way: if you're not enjoying your job, it doesn't matter what, that you're supposed to clean the toilet a certain way, or you're supposed to look behind you and check and make sure things are right. But if you're not enjoying your job, you don't have that care factor, so you're just gonna
Shortcuts.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So probably couldn't teach me to be a cleaner, maybe.
I don't
I think I'm teachable. I just don't know if I'd enjoy it. But anyway, so you do the grind to start with, and you start building up the client base, and then how long in do you take until you have your first hire?
Yeah, so I actually got pregnant with my husband and mine's first son. So he is 10 now. So it must have been about a year and a half in. And, I wanted to have sort of 6 months off with him. I'd never, ever had any time, because I had mum as well. So, when I had my daughter, I think she was 5 weeks old when mum started looking after her. And I just needed to get back to work. I've always said I love my kids more than any other mum in the whole world. Like, I love my babies, but I also need I need to work for my sanity. So I think I had 6 months off and employed a girl actually from the Wairarapa. She was living up here, Roxanne, and Roxy. So she sort of took over for me for 6 months, but we kind of got to the stage where I needed to come back. And I mean, at the end of the day, you leave if you stepped out of your business for 6 months, things wouldn't go 100% want them to go. So
Yeah. Is Roxy still with you now?
no.
Yeah. I was going to say that would be a hell of an innings if Roxy was still kicking around. And so once you had that first hire, did that sort of open your eyes or change anything for you, or make you realize like, wow, I could hire even more people? Or what sort of really sparked the journey to go, right, like, let's really scale this?
I think it was, I've always been like, ever since I was a little kid, I've been driven very much so by having, well, like money. I've always been driven by money. I was 8 years old, and I was making those little cozies, old granny could put her teacup on it. And I used to go walk in my grandma's neighborhood at 8, and I was selling 50 cents. I run down to the dairy and spend it all on lollies. But I've always had that drive to sell things and make money. And I guess for me, it's that whole, it was always the freedom thing. I wanted to have, I watched my dad work 14 hours a day, day in, day out. A lot of my girls here have great balance. Like, I'm really big on that. If they want to work 3 days, they work 3 days. If they want to work 2 days, they work 2 days. If they want to work 5 days, they work 5 days. So, finding balance for myself, I guess, was a real driver. But I also wanted to, like, if I want to go on holiday, or I had dreams of building a house on a lifestyle property and having some sheep and dogs and all the lifestyle property type dreams. And so I guess that was a real big driver for me, because I wanted that, plus I wanted to be able to go on holiday or give the kids what they need, or if I didn't want to struggle buying a block of cheese, or I guess that was a big driver as well. That freedom, getting to that stage where I can work 2-3 days a week and still earn the same.
Yeah. And you could see that cleaning was a vehicle. When I mean a vehicle, I mean like an industry or a way that you're able to do that.
100%.
Yeah. Nice. That's pretty cool that you've got the drive of balance, and then you still allow then the people who come to work for you to have achieved that same thing that drove you to basically start and scale. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Got girls here who have said, I got one girl who said she looked for a job for a year and couldn't find a job around working school hours. And I'm like, well, my thing is, if I've got someone who shows up here at 8:45 in the morning and works their ass off till 2:45 and is a great fit in our team, why would I not employ them for school hours?
Brilliant. All right, fast forward to today. How many staff do you have now?
I paid, I think, 36 people last week.
Jeez, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. And am I right in saying that would be 36 women?
Yeah, you'd be correct.
Yeah. And then poor old Pete, your husband, he get the runaround from the 36?
Yeah, he does sometimes.
I bet.
We've employed guys along the way. And to be honest, if we, someone was a fit, it wouldn't, the gender's not a big thing to us. We hire based on fit. But, at the end of the day, they kind of last 6 months. And there's just too many girls here. It probably you got to be a pretty strong man to show up in, a pink office with pink walls and pink carpet and, pink toilet lino and enjoy your day with a whole pile of girls in pink.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's you're creating opportunities for other women. I think that's the cool thing and the exciting thing. And it obviously works. I struggle to look after and maintain one of them around this household. So I'm keen for some lessons here too. He managed 36. But so how deep into the journey were you before you really started bringing on more and more people and actively hiring and going, righto, let's keep scaling this?
Yes, I think that was probably, 3-4 years. It would have been about 3-4 years, sort of started getting a few staff behind us. And then, because it would have been about 5 years Nat came on. Yeah, so probably about 3-4 years.
Yeah. So I guess at that stage, your role completely changes, right? Because it goes from not only do you have to dig in and get the cleaning done, but then it goes to you've got to build enough work for all of these people to have a job and to fit the amount of hours that they want to do. Then there's the management of those people. Then there's the equipment. Then there's how they're going to get to the different jobs. I think the thing that I always find fascinating about your business too, and that many people wouldn't think about, is how many sets of keys you've got and fucking just looking after those.
Yeah.
You need a system for that. People lose their keys to their own house. You got how many hundreds of thousands of people's keys?
Yeah, we've got a real good system around that. So, we had to get systems around that real early on. So, having them all coded. So, fielding, for example, you have F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, and then that's coded to a client, but only the girls, when they log into the job, see that key. So they sign that out and sign it back in. But yeah, odd occasion it's been put on the wrong hook and it's all panic stations.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nat started with us in our office in our old 1910 villa. So, I got to the stage where I was working all day cleaning because I could not stop cleaning. And then I was working all night doing the, rosters and the books and all the other stuff you got to do, and back then I didn't have a washing machine. Like I was still in my 30s and didn't have not a washing machine, a dryer. And so I was washing the cloths and then hanging them out on the clothesline, hoping that they'll be dry by the next day and all this crazy stuff. And then, hired Nat, and she basically started working out of our hallway with a snoring dog under her feet because we didn't have an office or anything for her to work out of. And my husband built me a 3x3 shed out the back that held all of our equipment. And but it simply got to the stage where we were like, none of my kids were at school on time. They were always 10 minutes late because the girls would be like chit chat, and I'm like, get the kids to school, get the kids to school.
Wow.
So we simply had to find somewhere bigger.
So Nat came on, and that's basically your second set of hands, your admin person. She replies to a lot of your emails for you, all sorts of things, right? And help you like really get into systems and processes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so obviously then you get out of the home environment and then take your first lease. Is that right? So Nat first, then the lease?
Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So you were able to do all of that, then buy all the equipment too, and then keep hiring more people. Where was all this work coming from? Was it word of mouth and snowball, or?
Yeah, I think word of mouth, Stu, Jay. Like if you do a good job, people recommend you. And I think our Facebook marketing's always, we post every day. And I think that's probably the biggest thing as well. Like a lot of cleaning companies, if you look at, I would just about say, look at any cleaning company in New Zealand, and you don't see them posting their staff. And, I've had negative feedback from that and good feedback, but, I generally won't look at the negative feedback. And the reason I do that is because we're going into someone's personal space, and that's huge. Like someone giving you a key, like if you were to give me the key to your apartment to come and clean it, that's huge. I'm coming into your personal space and I'm cleaning your home. And so by highlighting our staff and how wonderful they are, and putting a face to the name, builds trust. Because and it's testament that we've had some of the clients have been with me 12 years.
Yeah. Nice. I saw something recently. I was talking about Airbnb, and someone said to me, "Are you serious? Do people rent their houses out? What do they do with all their belongings in there?" And I was thinking, geez, what rock have you been living under? But they were like, "We would never do that. Like, you can't have strangers come into your home." I'm like, it's like they woke up and they realized they're in 2024. But that'd be mind blowing to know that people hand over their keys to have them cleaned every fortnight.
It's the stress that relieves, right? Like I would
Yeah.
hand over a million times to get my house cleaned and just come home and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah. And I think it's just on that, that the ability to buy some of your time back by having somebody clean it and do it to a standard that you wouldn't do yourself because you resent it or you begrudge it. It's such an important thing for business owners to realize that's an area where you can basically swap some money for getting time back so that you can keep focusing on the things that do bring you joy or are going to move your business forward. And I think that's why you've got so many customers, right? Because people then get into that mindset of, okay, I can get my time back, or I just don't want to do this, but there's a service that allows me to not have to.
That's right, 100%.
Yeah, you've been pretty active on social media for as long as I can remember, going back to even like 2017. You never shy to run ads or post content and things like that, right? So you've been pretty consistent, given it's now 2024. Yeah. And what's your email database up to? You regularly send out emails, right?
Oh, look, I'm probably not as good at the whole MailChimp email thing as what I should be. I'm trying to get a little bit better there, but I think the MailChimp's about 3,500.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try and sort of every couple of months send a special out, or with extra support in the office. That is where my focus will be, is sort of sending those regular specials out, and I've sort of upped my marketing a little bit as well.
Nice. So the specials would be something around like having your barbecue cleaned or your your deck outside, getting ready for summer, those sorts of things?
Yeah, well, a lot of them are sort of half day specials as well. So we do a lot of sort of half a day to executive housewives, 400 plus GST, and work through your priority list, or, things like that as well.
So talk us through that. So you basically would say like we can send people around and you give us a to-do list of what you want done and cleaned, and here's your fee for that.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
No.
They'll, they might say, well, my priorities, windows inside and out, and then if you've got time, the kitchen, bathroom, vacuuming, whatever, and we just sort of work through that priority list.
Work it. And every time you send those emails or make those offers and have the specials, does it print money for you or create money?
Yeah. I think the last time, or one of the times that we did it, it was sort of brought in about an extra 4.5 grand.
Yeah. I think I remember that actually. I think I remember we were talking about it, and then you were like, oh, I've just paid for a couple of days' wages or something, send me that email out, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
inspired to do it. And talk us through Hoarders cleans that you mentioned right at the start, and then we'll get into some staff stuff.
Yeah. So Hoarders cleans are probably, I've just started doing every Thursday night at 8 p.m. for any hoarders out there. Just basic. I'm not making it a real huge, overwhelming thing, because it's already really overwhelming for hoarders. So it's just little bite-sized tips at 8 o'clock every Thursday night for, I'll probably do it for a few months, maybe ongoing, but just give them little tips on what they can do to sort of start the process. But yeah, it's just, for us, probably one of the most rewarding jobs we do, alongside fabulous money. The Hoarders cleans are really good money. You've got, your teams there. They might be there, 3 to 5 days solidly. So, whenever you're somewhere for that long, it is, more productive. And but the team takes great pride in them as well, creating spaces, and listening to them buzz around those ones is just like, it's one of my favorite parts of the job, actually, is just listening to the girls and how happy they are. And the last Hoarders clean they found a piano.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, under everything there was a piano, and on top of that piano we created this amazing space, and we found candles, and we did this and that, and we found all the husband's records, so we did another corner of just music and records, and then we found Buddhas and this and that, so we created another space over here for her, and we put a chair there, and that's her calming space that she can go and sit, like, it's really cool to be able to do that for our clients as well.
And are those people, are they coming to you asking, like that lady, for instance, or is someone in the family saying, hey, can you guys come and help mum or grandma, etc., in this instance, tidy it up, or what? How does that come about?
Yeah, it can be a bit of both. So the last one we did, she reached out to us, and the one before that, the council had ordered it. So that was through lawyers, and they're always a bit tricky, because they're not really in the mindset of, I want this to happen. It's very forced, so there needs to be a lot of empathy that goes with those ones.
Yeah. We'll get to staff in a second. Just thinking back, I remember we had a conversation a number of years ago when it really started to get jobs spread out over the Manawatu, and talking about like really making it efficient, so that let's say Sally wasn't going from Palmy to Fielding, and then from Fielding back to Palmy, but then they had to go back to Fielding a second time, and things like that. And trying to get that more efficient was then going to improve your margin, because it's time where they're not doing the cleaning side of things, right? Do you feel like you've mastered some of that now?
Yeah, it's always sort of, going to be a bit of a thing, but generally overall we use a system called Jobber. So it actually has GPS points on, so I could pull it up, and I could see where everyone is, and then you can color code your staff. So might have a team that's pink and a team that's blue and a team that's green, and then I can see the team that's pink's going here, 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 and here, and then, oh my gosh, they're going all the way over here when the blue team's over here. so then I can just tweak that, change that to the blue team, and the blue team might be starting over here, so then I can add that job to the pink team and have them just in one area. So it's a fabulous system. We basically run the whole business off of Jobber, and the reason why we've only got 2 sort of admin, operations, Nat's operations now, and Kim's accounts, but it's the reason why we've only got 2 admin team at this level.
Yeah, nice. Okay. And because I remember a long time ago, scheduling for you was a big part of your role, right? Rosters and scheduling, basically. Have you managed to pull yourself out from a lot of that?
Oh, you know what, Luke? I've always said I'll never ever be able to remove myself from that. Anyone that can do that job, right? But this is a big development. Is that we hired Kim at Christmas, and she's fabulous. She does basically all the accounts, the reconciling, the following up of accounts, and she does my rosters. And I'll never stop looking in them and be like, oh no, this skill needs to go with this one, and these guys work better, and I know she'll want to be with her, and I know these guys get on, and so I'll put them together, and I'll always, no one will do it 100% how I will, but it's she puts the time in, and it is a lot of time and effort into getting it to the point where I can just look at it and be like, oh, I like that looks fine, or oh, I'll just tweak that.
Geez, who would have thought, eh? Letting go.
I know.
Nice. Hey, so let's dig into some of the staff side of things then. So 36 team members now, and I'm sure some have come and gone along the way, so you would have employed more than that over this decade and beyond. What have you learnt in order to get the right person for the role?
Oh, look, I think one of my big lessons is probably the biggest is not hiring out of desperation.
Out of desperation. Yeah, I joked and said men for a second. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't hire men. I joke with our clients who cleaner's not that great, and I was like, and he just doesn't do, and I'm like, hey, like, I'll stop you there. That's your problem right there, is you've hired a man.
Love it. So not hiring out of desperation, do you mean that always kind of trying to find the right people, or so that you're not at a point where you're like, shit, we need more staff?
Yeah, so I think we always got to that point where we were like, shit, we need more staff. What are we going to do? And then, the first person that came into the office, and they seemed like a good fit. But there was a couple of things that maybe it was their energy, or, that not 100% a good fit. So, but we'd still hire them because we needed to get the work done, right? So I guess what we've learned, that's a big lesson, is that, and I got taught that in sales real early on, is that in the first 7 seconds, you know whether you like someone or not. And I can have someone in this office and sit down. As soon as I open the door, I'll be like, oh man, I love her. I want to hire her. You just know. And then you'll have other people walk in and it's like, oh, hell no. Like, just no. And but that sometimes can change on talking to people as well. Like, I think one of the first questions we always ask, someone will sit down and I'll say, so just tell me a little bit about yourself. And, if they run their ex-employer down, that's like a big alarm bell for me, because that is going to be me in a year's time, if I'm lucky to get a year.
Yeah.
And if there's a lot of negativity around the stuff they're saying, because people are real open, right? Like, the stuff they'll tell you when you ask them, tell me about yourself, can be quite enlightening. So you get a real gauge of whether they're going to be a fit or not. And the biggest thing for us is finding someone who's a fit. And we kind of over the years we have made mistakes, and we probably made another mistake a couple of years ago with wrong hire, and so we changed our process. So now, like if Nat does the hiring, like she might do an interview and I'll say to her, oh yeah, so how did it go? And she'll be like, yeah, no, really good. Like, I really like her. Maybe her energy was a little bit, not as like sort of get up and go. And I'll be like, oh yeah, so I'll ask her a few other questions, and then I'll say to her, so you know, you want to employ her? Yeah. No, I think, yep, let's take her. And so I'll ask her, you know, would you take her into our top client's home? Oh, no, probably not. Okay, so if we can't take all of our girls into our top client's home, we're not employing them.
Nice.
So we're not just going to shove them in on a spring clean and be like, well, you know, that's okay. You know, we can employ them for spring cleaning or builders cleaning or this or that, but we wouldn't take them to, oh no, we wouldn't take them to his house. No way. So that's a big game changer for us, because a lot of the time it's yes, let's employ them. And then when you ask yourself that question, it's like, oh no, I wouldn't take them there. So our goal is to be able to take every single one of our teammates into our top client's home.
Are there any other questions through that interview process that you routinely ask now with this experience of hiring so many people? Because it's so important you get the right fit, right? Because a lot of these women and ladies, they're working with each other, right? So you can't have someone that's toxic, for instance, because then you run the risk that someone who is enjoying their job, you know, that they don't like it anymore because of the person you hire.
Yeah, I think one thing of you know, that because I've been around so many people, and I am, you know, and I don't know whether you want to call that a skill or, but I have, you know, like, for example, I could walk into a business meeting. There could be, okay, this is a great example. I walked into a business meeting, right? It was not, but it was actually an end of year business meeting. And if she's listening to this, it's not going to be ideal. But when I sat down at that table, there was like 15 business owners, right? And they were doing a Secret Santa. When I sat down at that table, one person's energy told me, didn't matter what present I got, she was going to take my present, because it was that whole, you take someone's present. Sure enough, nobody around the whole table took that anybody's presents, but she took my present. I knew she was going to.
Wow.
And it's that whole energy thing, being able to read people's energy and know if someone likes you, know if someone doesn't like you, know, and it goes to hiring. Like, I just know now if someone, am I allowed to say, is a bit of a bitch? You know, like I know if she's going to cause trouble in my team, just through her energy. And you know, you can read people, body language, their eyes, their, you know, and so I kind of want to tell you that we hire very much based on that whole energy, the, you know, the stuff they say, and because of it, I have 35 other women out here who, they don't have any drama. Like, you just don't see that, right?
No.
And we have had drama over the years, and it's because I've made wrong choices, and I've known when they sit down in that interview chair that they potentially could be a bit of a shit stirrer. And you hire anybody who is a little bit negative or has a negative mind frame or could be a little bit of a shit stirrer, it's going to upset your whole team.
Yeah. Wow. Man, HR people would listen to this and be like, no, there must be a set of questions. You can't tell people to hire based on energy. How can you reteach that? It's not doable.
I mean, I have standard questions, right? Like, there's standard questions I go through, and just because I have to, right? We're in an interview, so you've got to ask them all your standard questions, but I don't hire off of the standard questions. I hire on that energy, that, you know, looking. I mean, if I'm sitting here and I'm interviewing someone and they won't look me in the eye, like, why are you not looking me in the eye? Like, I'm having a conversation with you. So if you can't look me in the eye, there's something maybe a little bit dodgy going on here. I don't know.
I love it. Well, it's working. It works for you. And that's the thing. We've all got to find our own, you know, way, right? But it obviously, yeah, works. I wonder if part of it as well is, you know, the energy, it's attitude. So then you're picking up on their attitude, because this role is so attitude determined, like based on attitude, right?
It is. And you know, we have had cases where, you know, we've had, you know, also hiring that, you know, we brought a lady up as a quality manager, and you know, having someone in a wrong manager role as well can upset everyone. Like, we were losing staff, like, you know, and we couldn't understand why we're losing so many staff, and having someone, you know, just because they might be whatever on paper doesn't mean that they actually have the people skills to be able to manage staff. So, you know, I think it's a huge bigger picture as well of who's managing the staff, and even me as an employer, like I want to be good cop. Like, I'm done with being bad cop. Like, I want to sit down with the girls, and I don't want them to be scared of me or anxious. So I want to, you know, to be able to sit down and say, you know, how was your day? You enjoying your job? You want a drink? You know, you want a bit of cake? You know, I want to be the fun cop, not the bad cop. So, you know, and I do that all the time. The girls will laugh, you know, they'll come in and be like, oh, you know, I've got to sign out some product, and I just take it. And you know, bloody Anna, she's always, you know, have a little joke with them. But, you know, I'm all about, you know, I mean, you can't break all the rules, but, you know, just having a laugh and
Yeah.
you know, getting someone else to be the bad cop.
There's someone who normally comes to this call and they can't because they're dealing with staff today. But one of the things they were telling us recently is that they got their biggest job to date in business. And one of the staff members said, like, oh, when are you doing that? And they said, oh, it'll be October. And they were like, oh, glad I won't be here for that then. What do you reckon of that energy?
That is not good energy. That is not supposed to fit in the team. But in saying that, you know, you can turn people around, you know.
How do we do that?
Well, you've got to create the culture. If I look back 12 years, we didn't have the culture we have now. And it's little things, you know, it's the things we do, you know. I mean, and hiring intentionally is huge, but you know, there's we do star of the month. So just, you know, like, every month, someone who has stood out, you know, we give them $100 food voucher, and they can buy whatever they want for lunch with their teammate, you know, who gets rewarded as well for just working with them for the day. So they both get lunch. You know, it can be as simple as taking the, I don't know if he's got a boy, you know, cruise of boys or girls or whatever, well, I assume boys, you know, taking them a pie for lunch and a donut, you know, that stuff all goes, it only sounds little, and it is little, but, you know, at the end of the day, these guys are making him, and any business, like, you know, the business owners making probably a little bit more than them. So, you know, taking them a pie and just saying, you know, thanks, appreciate, you know, I'll take the girls a V. That's a lot of them drink that crap. But whatever, you know, take my pie and a V. Thanks. Yeah. You know, having a pizza, drinks. You know, I just took all the girls out to local restaurant Strong Room here in Fielding, and we had some, you know, a little bit of food and drinks, and then took them to a band up the road and put a bar tab on and had a dance with them, you know. I don't usually do that, and I watch what I drink, by the way, because, you know, I've still got to come in on Monday, and I'm professional boss, so yeah. But, you know, we do that sort of once a year. You know, just things to, like, I know our girls feel a lot of pride around the community stuff we do, and it makes them feel, you know, part of something really special.
Yeah, awesome. Talk about that briefly. What you've done around Christmas time.
Yeah, so we do paper bag presents at Christmas, and you know, so this year we got Melody's New World in Palmerston North. They donated 2,000 bags, and so the idea was simply put a bag in our clients' homes and give them an easy way to donate some presents to kids in need at Christmas, and it sort of grew from there. And the local Flooring Extra team here, she's fabulous, Georgia, she helped me sort and deliver, and I guess it's kind of become now a bit of a way to bring the business community together. Like, the local business chamber got on board and you know, the Palmerston North Airport, like ridiculous amounts of presents they dropped off. Just, you know, they put all their sort of, money they collected this year into presents and brought them over to us. You got Ray White, who did a Give a Little page that got a sort of $1,000 there, and then they brought all their presents over. And FBI and Fielding, which is a local business group, they donated $1,000 for food. So it's become quite a community thing where everyone sort of comes together at Christmas and donates. And then it kind of got that big that we decided we'd split it into three. So Women's Refuge, they really struggle at Christmas time getting presents. So we added a tick box system. So it goes into a client's home, they can tick who they want it to go to. So if they want it to go to Women's Refuge, we're simply just the middleman. So we deliver it to Women's Refuge. And if they want it to go to Paper Bag Presents, it stays with us. So, and then we sort of distribute it where we think there's a need. So we had about, I think it was about 115 to 130 kids, individual kids, that we sort of bagged up, a bag of food and a bag of presents from Santa. And then we support Manchester House here in Fielding. So the rest of it, or whoever ticks Manchester House, goes to them. So it's become a bit of it. And the ladies love it. Like they just goof off coming back at the end of the day and bringing their piles of presents in, and the whole office is like full of presents. And we've got to load the boots up, and the local school got involved, and it's become a bit of an event.
Far out. How about that? Are you providing for people at Christmas for, just starting with a simple idea of let's leave a brown, I think they're brown paper bags, right? And at clients' homes, and then this bitch is still taking your present off you at the Secret Santa at the dinner. That just shows you life is unfair. There will always be people that will come for you. That's so cool. I've seen the photos of the HireAHousewife vehicles just stacked with presents and paper bags and stuff. I think it's such a good example of how businesses and their communities can solve some of these problems and be the intermediary, like you say, and go, I got this idea, which was just an idea for you at one stage, and then look what it's turned into now.
Yeah, I love it. And at the end of the day, a lot of our clients want to donate stuff at Christmas, but they simply run out of time, or in this way, when they're at the shop, they can, I've got that brown paper bag at home, I'll just grab this and this and this. And thousands and thousands of dollars of presents just poured in. This year was probably our biggest year yet. It was incredible.
Are you going to do it again this year?
I'm going to do it every year.
Yeah, love it. Hey, what about, you were telling me recently about how someone came to your guys' premises and they could get some clothing, I think, for a job interview. Was that right?
Yeah, we've got so that probably actually excites me. I don't know logistically how we're going to make it work long term. I haven't got around that yet, Luke, but
yeah,
this is something that probably excites me more than paper bag presents, to be honest. And the reason that it excites me more is I think Christmas is real commercialized, and there's a lot of stress that goes on around at Christmas for families, but I strongly, firmly believe no kid should go without at Christmas. It's not their fault, right? So I love paper bag presents, and I'll always do it. It's real special. But this, I believe that secondhand shopping's becoming a little bit unaffordable for a lot of people. And so, we sort of have a sharing table here at work, and we have done for quite a while. And at Christmas time, we ended up with too much stuff. So we're like, right, what are we going to do with it? Take it to the secondhand shop? Or, I know, we've got quite a big following. How about we chuck it out on the side of the road, and we chuck it on our Facebook page and say, come and help yourself. And it was just like, I got goosebumps. Like, I was sitting here at my desk and watching, the people that were showing up, and this lady showed up with her husband and her baby, and she sat on the curb with her baby and her husband. Oh, you like this dress? You could see him like, what about this one? Or what about this one? Oh, yeah. And then they're pulling up a bag, and it was real special. And so I got a hold of my friends, Fran from Firmly Fit, Pilates, and Pip from the Egg Project, and said, hey, shall we, do a collection? And so they were like, yeah, let's do it. So my clients alone, like the stuff that was coming back, like, you know, you're getting Trelise Cooper $100 t-shirts and you know, dresses, corporate dresses, and it was incredible, like the amount of stuff. So on the day we chucked it all out. The weather was absolutely crap. We had to wait for the rain to stop to chuck it out, and we threw it out, and like people just came. They came from all over, and you know, one girl, she came in oversized jandals, pregnant, like, you know, next minute she's, I've got a $400 bag, like it was, you know, but scraped up, but she didn't care. Like, she's like, I just scored a $400 bag, and these shoes were like $200, and these are designer, and then she got a, you know, she's got a suitcase, and then people just come in filling their boots up for free. And it's incredible. We've just had a client donate. She's moving to Australia. Her family's going to look after her in Australia. She's getting to that age. She's donated her whole house to us.
Wow.
Like a whole house, and we're going to give it to someone for free.
Far out. It's amazing.
I love it. It gives me goosebumps. Like I do really, really love this one, because so many people are struggling out there to get essential items. You know, there was, you know, boxes and boxes of clothes. There was boxes and boxes of kids' clothes, kids' shoes, adults' shoes. There was homeware. There was, you know, plates, cups, you know, racks, this, that, pots, pans, bags, just, you know, and now we've got drawers and beds, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it all, but hey.
Hey, well, luckily throughout the journey, you brought a commercial building as well, just as we're about to go into a recession. How about that?
Oh, I know, which was great, because I'm going to be able to store a whole house full of stuff out there.
Yeah. Wow. Do you think that the commercial building, like going from renting to now owning your own premises, because it used to be the SPCA's building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went in and completely remodeled it, painted it pink, etc.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's then unlocked some of these other ideas in your head, because you've thought, oh, we've got a bit more space here, we could do some of these things?
I think 100% it has, because I know we were kind of getting to the stage around there where the girls were banging into the garage door as they drove out, because we'd just run out of space. And I'm like, I think it kind of stunts your growth a bit, because you're like, right, I cannot fit one more car in here. Like, I can't. We can't grow anymore. This is it. You know, so moving here, it's like, you know, it does put me into the right. I can actually probably fit another 40 cars out there if I wanted.
Somebody stop it.
Yeah. So it does put you into that. Well, we can grow as big as we want, because we've got.
Yeah, nice one, man. It is it's so inspirational. I think, yeah, I just love how when people get started on a journey, all the different things that it unlocks. I could keep quizzing you for ages, but I'll open it up to anybody if they've got questions with what you've just talked about over this last 50 minutes to fire away at you and see who wants to go first. Anyone got anything? No one?
She's probably answered most of my question, but
Cool.
You're doing amazing things over and above running this huge business. Maybe could you talk to us a wee bit about your quality assurance?
Oh, yep. So, so the probably where that sort of sets us apart a little bit as well. So we have Anna, our quality manager. So she's basically on the road 5 days a week, supporting the girls. So she does all our inductions. She signs the girls off, you know, like that they can clean an oven, they know how to do it safely. You know, she gives them the full training they need, and then the day-to-day support. So she just literally goes from job to job to job to job. If their vacuum breaks down, Anna's there. If they need a shoulder to cry on, Anna's there. Really stressful job. If they, you know, leave a key behind, and I'll come back, get it and take it to them. But just having that support person who comes in and just says, you know, like, you look a bit down today, are you okay? Because a lot of the time, you know, girls, they've got a lot going on at home as well. A lot of them are, you know, might be single mums and that. So just having that constant person, you know, because it can't be me, I'm not here all the time. And so having that constant person who, you know, like Anna will ring me and say, oh, you know, she looked a bit down today. I'm going to go catch up with her soon and just make sure she's okay. And, you know, and then she'll come back and say, oh, you know, she's got some stuff going on at home, but, you know, appreciated the talk or whatever. So just having her, you know, as well as the quality, you know, checking if we've got a builder's clean, she goes and checks and makes sure, you know, before it is a problem generally. You know, or, you know, the girls might be having an off day and might miss something. So on a one-off, so she'll go in and just check and make sure everything's going to plan and up to, you know, standard. And then it's, you know, she's really kind as well. So if something is missed, she'll be like, oh, you know, we missed this, just check that for next time, make sure we do this and this, or do you need extra support? You know, she also does the 3 monthly reviews, so we just do a review every 3 months just to make sure they're okay, and if they, you know, where they feel they're sitting, and you know, because a lot of the times the girls will be like, you know, like, it's a bit of a fun thing, you know, they sort of rate themselves and they might get a 4.5 or whatever, and you know, because they might feel they're not really good at X, Y, and Z, and you know, that's where Anna will say, well, actually, I think you're great at X, Y, and Z, and so, you know, I don't think you've got any problems here, but, you know, they might see that, you know, pick up that they need a bit of extra, say, training on windows because they don't feel confident in doing them. So it's real good to sort of touch base, especially with new staff at that 3 months to make sure they're happy with the training they've had as well.
I'm surprised we've nearly spoken for an hour, Natasha, and you haven't mentioned the word manuals. I feel like that's one of what you're most proud of in the business, the manuals.
I am really proud of them. They months to develop, yeah. And I'm actually developing training videos now, Luke, which are really cool. So we've done, me and Anna have sort of going through each sort of, you know, kitchen, bathroom, lounge. And so we've done full training videos with our videographer, Rob Edwards. So, and these are just, you know, on our Facebook, our Executive Housewife Facebook page, so they can, you know, if they want to see how to tackle a, you know, hot wash or how to clean a toilet the housewife way, you know, they can go back and have a look at these videos as well.
So have you got, is that like an internal training database, that page that you talk about that they can go and have a look at, or is it public?
No, not public. No.
Yeah.
Giving away secrets, Luke.
I was going to say, geez, you're too generous. People will be coming for you. They're scaling up their own HireAHousewife.
Oh, look, I could be. I'm pretty confident that I could give everything to someone, and they, you know, they'd still need our help.
Yeah, good on you. Well, you've thought about getting into franchising or different areas and stuff like that too, right? And I think it's still on the radar to have a crack at.
Yeah, it's still on the, you know, on the radar. Future wise, yeah.
So how do you deal with the ladies when they're not performing, or they suddenly like dip and it's not, you know, what you know that they'd normally be capable of?
Yeah, so what I do, Luke, is I put them with like, you know, amongst our team, we do have a group of girls who are very, very passionate about their clients and their jobs, and they are not going to let their reputation slip because of one of their teammates. And that's where, you know, that whole being a team player comes into play. You know, you put out with them for the day or the week or however long you got to, because you know that girl, you know, that teammate's not going to let her client come home to standards that are slipped. So she'll pull the other girl up, and then that's when we're like, right, Anna, you got to check all their, you know, or, you know, that's her focus. So her focus would be going on their jobs for the next, you know, little bit to make sure standards are up, see if there's anything else going on, or just pointing out like, you know, this is not how we leave things. Presentation is key, and giving them some extra tips to try and get them up to scratch. But, you know, I mean, not always do they get up to scratch. And generally, those girls that don't, you know, because the bulk of our team is such a good fit in jobs, they'll get rid of themselves eventually.
So you find that they normally sort of leave before you end up having to intervene and put them on some sort of performance plan?
All the time.
Yeah. Wow. What's that?
Just happened a couple months ago. She could perform where we needed her to. Nice girl. You know, she was a fit in our team, I guess, but not. Sort of over the, you know, sort of first 3-4 months, realised that probably just couldn't retain things and just couldn't reach the standards we needed. So, you know, you try and support them best you can, but at the end of the day, you know, she got rid of herself because she couldn't handle the pressure of what she had to deliver.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty impressive, right? The teams at that scale, and they care and they're so proud of what they do now that basically people can probably feel in that environment like, oh shit, I'm not, like, I don't level up to this.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Like that's one thing I'm just, you know, extremely proud of. You know, it was just a couple of months ago, one of my girls said to me, you know, this job saved my life twice now. And, you know, things like that just make it all, you know, or woman empowering woman. I've heard the girls talking about that. And, you know, when I hear them talking like that, I think, you know, like that's probably mostly what I'm proud of, because it hasn't always been like that. That's through mistakes I've made. And, you know, like I said, we're very intentional about who we hire now, and that has made a massive difference. But also, I guess a lot of business owners, you know, a lot of them don't do those small things like, you know, hey, thanks for, you know, this week, or thanks for today, you know, really appreciate that, because the thanks goes a long way. And, you know, we're a team, you know, we're not staff or employees, or, you know, I try and avoid those words if I can, because even in my Facebook posts, like, we're a team, like we're all, you know, and they all feel part of a team, because we always say we're a team.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sorry.
You're right.
Sorry, kia ora. Sorry, I was also late. I just had to sort something out with work. Just randomly, you know, I'm assuming it's a cleaning business, and you've just about your manuals and your training and stuff. Do you streamline like how you do your things? So like all the girls clean the ovens one way and that's your way, or the windows are cleaned one way and that's your guys' way, or do you kind of let other people do their own little thing? Like, oh, I know we clean the ovens like this, but I got a little trick that I can, you know what I mean? Or is it just kind of streamlined?
Yeah. So we have, you know, I've spent months and months putting our manual. I've spent months and months putting our manuals together. So everyone is trained exactly the same way. So windows, we're trained a certain way. Ovens, we're trained, and I've got a training video that goes along with the oven cleaning as well. Because, you know, we've had girls in the past, you know, a great example would be cleaning a toilet. We've had girls in the past cleaning a toilet, and it's you know, there's a right way to hygienically clean a toilet, and then there's a wrong way. So just knowing that everyone is cleaning it the same way just eliminates any potential problems, really.
No, that's cool. Thank you.
Sort of probably, you know, really help. Like, I've put months and months into our training manuals, which I believe are probably really unique to the cleaning industry. So, you know, that sort of goes through. We've got a health and safety manual, which is, you know, probably takes half a day to get through, and then sort of another half a day around how to clean, basically, and then we do on-job training as well. So the girls all know when they come into a room, you know, we have a way of cleaning, and that is top to bottom, left to right. You know, we don't. And then if a windowsill's missed, it's like, well, you know, take back to the training. Do you remember in our training we went over that whole left to right? And because if you're dusting left to right, you're not going to miss anything. So, you know, having that streamlined is really important.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Right.
I love how that's just like so normal and second nature to you, but realistically, like a lot of, like in other businesses, people would probably say, oh no, everyone needs to have their opinion of how it's done, but you couldn't have 36 people telling you how to clean an oven, right? Because then they'd end up fighting.
That's right. 100%.
Yeah. Wow. Jen, you got anything?
A few things. Do you guys have are there like any regulations in the cleaning industry that you guys have to like adhere to? Like MPI has food regulations for food businesses and things. or do you just make up kind of what you stick to and that's it?
Oh no, we did sort of go over all that in the beginning, and a lot of that's in our.
Oh yeah, I'll listen back.
So our health and safety manual sort of covers everything. So hygienically cleaning, we've also got, all our insurances and that up to date, and so health and safety manual sort of has a lot of parts to it, to cover, the cleaning part of things, and then the safety or the clients, we also have job forms on every single job as well to cover things like, if there's animals on properties, and so any potential issue that could arise, we try and sort of tick that off through our health and safety manual or in our job forms. So each client has their own job form as well to cover off any health and safety potential risks.
If you could go back and restart everything over again, is there any like major things that you would do differently, or that you think back and you're like, oh shit, I would never do that again?
Yeah, I think it's probably just those, but they're all lessons as well. I'm big on, like you make a lot of mistakes in business, and would I change anything? Probably not, because now they've all been opportunities for learning and growth, and putting different systems in place. And there's no, when I was starting business, it was a bit scary because there's no place that you can go to and just be like, right, I need manuals, I need health and, there was health and safety places, which I did sort of, delve into. The Chamber's been a great help, but just having oh my gosh, what was the question?
Would you change anything? Is there anything you think back on and go, oh shit, I would never do that again if I'd started over?
I think it's all been an opportunity for learning and growth, which is really important to me as well. And and it's the only reason where we are now is through those opportunities of, when we have made a mistake and we've been able to put these policies into place that people wouldn't even think about. We've got a policy around now, on hiring. We've got, all these questions we have to ask ourselves to make sure who we hire fits our values. Well, we didn't have that policy, so as things arise, we've had a few issues. I don't know, anybody that knows Xero probably knows Xero is a bit of a pain for holiday pay. So we had some, examples of where we've overpaid staff, not underpaid them, but we've overpaid some teammates, and which is never ideal. So that opened, a lot of questions internally around, right, well, how are we going to fix this? Because, and now I don't just pay holiday pay. Because I'm really like, oh, well, someone's off, I'm going to pay them, but probably really didn't check to make sure they had the, so that goes through to other people before it comes to me. They tell me how much I'm paying, and so they've got to be accountable. So it's just, putting systems in place to make sure you don't make the same mistakes that you've made. So
it makes sense, yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, we can probably let you go if no one's got anything else. Don't want to hold up your whole morning, but thanks so much for the insight.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks for having me on, Luke.
Yeah. I think your business really resonates with me, because I remember like growing up, that's what she would go and do to make some cash. So I'd be skating around someone's house while she's in there busting her ass, cleaning it, thinking like, fuck, how do they afford to have a cleaner? This is crazy. What do they do? Or go into their house and be like, whoa, this is way bigger than our house. And so, yeah, I always just find it fascinating, but it's been amazing to watch your journey. And I know it's not anywhere near complete, but then the things you've been able to do for your community as well, in terms of actually being able to provide for these women and give them the hours that they need, and just own the responsibility of, okay, if it's 2 days, if it's 3 days, if it's 74 days, whatever you need, you're like, yeah, we can figure that out. And then
yeah, you can't do it without a good accountant either, Luke.
we don't want to take any credit for this one.
Hey, got the accountant in New Zealand.
Oh gee, huge rap. So yeah, it's been so cool to see what you've been able to provide for other people, but then actually just go a step further into the community and you know, with the paper bag presents, for instance, and now looking at secondhand type stuff, and just the fact that that it can be done and it can be scaled all the way from yourself looking for something that you could earn some more money with whilst being pregnant, and then, you know, having the help of your mum as well, which I know that you lost a number of years ago now, and it was a massive moment for you guys as a family as well. So she was obviously a big part of being able to allow you to go on the early part of the journey, and I'd imagine she'd be pretty proud, as a lot of people are, with what you've been able to build.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah. Biggest thing on ending this, Luke, you know, like for what I'd say to business owners is really visualizing where you want to be, because I think that's been a real big thing for me. Is, you know, I mean, I've visualized building a house on a lifestyle block. I visualized having the girls out of my house and leasing a premises, and I'll tell you right now, when I visualized us, my whole team, taking my team and especially Nat into a office that was bigger than a hallway or a 3x3 cell. I visualized this office here. You know, it ticked every single box. So there was a lot of work that had to go into it, but it ticked box that I had seen us, and, you know, so I'm really big on, you know, not looking at the negatives and looking to the future and what you want and where you see yourself, because you'll get there if you see yourself there.
Love it. Can you tell us, is there any insight as to what you can see or visualize is coming?
Oh, well, I thought it was retirement, Luke, but I'm still on the fence. I love what I do. So, you know, I thought it might be early retirement, but I'm still trying to figure it out, to be honest. Yeah, watch your space. I'm actually in a really awesome, it's real awesome, humbling to be here, but there's a lot of decisions to be made, and I'm actually just sitting back and not going to make any big decisions until I'm 100%, because that's me. I just jump into stuff. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's go. And so I'm actually, you know, I've learned that along the way, is just to sit back and think about really what I want for the future now, and I'm not sure yet.
Good on you. You've earned the ability to be able to have that time to think about that as well. And there's different paths you could go down. But yeah, I think I did warn you the other day. I think you last about 3 weeks or 3 months max in retirement.
Yeah, that's not happening. That won't be part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would.
I will stay